Yes. So when it comes to design and technology, we are so much into innovation, into technology, into bridging the gap between us in terms of technology and the advanced world. But I do think that we need to bridge that gap between technology and society, because sometimes you designers produce something that will not necessarily be meant to last, but very very necessary, very useful, and then for a certain type of market. But then now bridging the gap between that necessity and the economic divides, because we are in societies where the economic power is not that much. So how can we do that? Because we know you also are businesses and you're thinking of prospering. But how can we bridge that divide between like new technologies, new designs, everything, but thinking also of the long-lasting effect of it, so that people can maybe buy your furniture, buy his designs or many other designs that will last with them, so that it seems to them that they did, something that is economically very, very sustainable.
Yeah. That's a very interesting question, but I don't think it is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it is the products that we design. It is the need of the people, which is making things change, Even if somebody have Apple 5, he will make sure that you buy Apple 6, even if that thing is new, because of the continuous innovations there are in the world, continuous needs of change that we see every day, that we want something new, Maybe our parents has kept their furnitures 11 years ago, 10 years ago. In our generation, we don't want to see a furniture after 2 years. We just get bored. Not
but
necessarily.
Isn't it your own fault? Because you guys produce something that I cannot but buy.
Yeah.
Because you are innovative, you are very creative, you just design and you put in the market. And then my 2 months old product is outdated. So isn't it somehow creativity that led us to that?
Yeah. I think we cannot put hold on the creative minds. I think that's impossible. As far as that thing is quality in this era or arena of working, we always keep on, and we have to keep on being innovative to have even a customer, like. Now people need change all the time and to be competitive. And also we're not just looking at our surroundings, where we are. We have to go beyond the scope and start thinking of exporting our products. That's where we should see forward. So for that, we shouldn't even have a good sleep every day to reach to that stage, like we keep on being innovative. And then there is always someone who wants to, who is a user for the old one. So it's not, like something that the other, lose. It's always like recycling. The other will take, you innovate, that one gains, and then give it to the other one, and that one buys. So I think we have the circle of needs and, taken by, circle. Then I don't think we can be able to stop that.
So we
if
have
I get
to
your
work,
point.
we have to work on ourselves, know what we can afford and what we need, because now the world, I think, has gone to so much of consumerism that it's maximalization. I have 5 pairs of shoes. 5 is small, right?
Very small.
Very small. Yeah. So I have 20 up, So put it making sure you have more and more stuff. That's the culture that we have. So it's the fight should be ours to become minimalistic and focused. Yeah. So I'm sure you share her opinion on that. Yes,
Absolutely.
Sure. So just wanted now to jump into the very big issue. Both of you didn't talk about that as challenges, but it's the issue of copyright in this business. I guess there is a big issue about you creating a unique logo, unique design, and somebody who didn't have that sweat, those sleepless nights, just comes and copies it. So how do you guys deal with that, the copyright?
Well, before a few years ago, we were not hopeful, but there's a new Copyright Act has come into. I don't know the legal term now. I'm still yet to familiarize myself with the document, which protects the entertainers and music and these sort of things. I think that should also translate to designers, because in terms of copyright, you're not helping yourself. You're just aiming to be a knockoff, and when you're a knockoff, then obviously you either have limited yourself into your creativity, or if you are a business, you've limited and you are causing damage to your business. Because if you see a logo that Ishmael had done and he tried to copy the same thing, and Ishmael already has it on his website, and then you give the client to say, well, I don't see this thing on Ishmael profile. Boom, it will never come to you again. She would just say, okay, well, if you're just copying things, it's the same with everything. I mean,
now what if I copy it so well that nobody knows it's your initial product?
There's a fine line. If you copy in the sense of learning, like a learning process, or if you reach out to the designer, you can copy and learn. But if you're just on the slide trying to make honey because your best friend did it and your best friend is successful, but Sierra Leone is very small. How many supermarkets are you going to sell your honey? Even if you go to McCaney or to Bull, I mean, you have to remember that not everyone has the same. I'm trying to be cliche now. Not everyone has the same fingers. What works for Sister A will not work for Sister B. Try and think of something. God made us all with our own individual talents. Honestly, we all have something. As long as you tap into it, you will be successful on that drive. So, in terms of the legal frameworks of copyright, it goes back to the same thing. We're not being respected, and until our leaders start respecting us, I mean, it's not too sad for me, because obviously I have clients overseas, but it's for young graduates and people who are dreaming. There's some kids who can draw amazing, like I can learn from, amazing, but their hopes and dreams of becoming a designer is crashed because where are the systems made for them? So it goes back to our leaders and putting all these things. If all these things are in a legal framework and there's a platform for us to grow from, not me anymore, because it's for the youngest coming. There's a platform for them to grow on. Then I think that would be one of the springboards to changing the ecosystem.
Thank you so much for that. But I still insist on the fact that if we don't have the ecosystem from the leaders, if we still don't have that enabling environment, let's build it. So if we don't have that respect from them, let's make sure we demand it and we bring it about.
Sure. Sure.
And I believe, to add something to what Ishmael was saying, nowadays I think this social media is also helping. I believe in a small way, because we design and we put it there to the whole world, So at least many people know that specific product is ours. I mean, at least it protects a little bit, or the person who wants to copy it knows that many people know that you actually designed that specific thing. So, this social and exposing our, things to the world, it doesn't only allow people to copy it, it also protects you. It has
so true.
both effects also. Of course, the government, we're not there yet to be protected, and then but this kinds of social things also helps a little bit, I believe, right?
I just want to add to your point, when social online and offline, there's also this one big thing that entrepreneurs forget and skip totally, which is research. If you live in research and data. Like in this room now, if I was to sell, I know how to make a ginger beer. I'm the best in making ginger beer. But I want to sell in this room. So I just come with my big 4 or 5 cool man of ginger beer. But if I had done research with a little form around, I asked everyone in this room, so what's your favorite drink? If more people say the favorite drink is juice, then I have the wealth, and they come here every week. I'm going to be wealthy by selling juice to them, not ginger beer. Even though ginger beer, I've been doing it for years, and I know everything about it. So research and data is most important. If you live in an area, take pen and paper, move around your neighborhood. Say, would you buy a butterscotch if I start making it? You tick. Would you buy a granite cake, granite or whatever? So that information alone is how people win elections. It's how people win. Research and data is key.
Okay, very key. Yeah. So that you base whatever approach you're having on facts.
On facts, yeah.
Great. That's the market research that we fail to do most often than not. Yeah. So we are coming close to the end of the discussions, even though it's really very, very, very interesting and insightful. So just wanted to, again, these designers, because they're in an enigma for me. Designers, creatives and all. There is a tendency and a need for designers to be humble and to withdraw, to be in your own little shell, to create, to hibernate, and then be able to have that inspiration and all. But how do designers balance that need and the need to pioneer the industry and to work on other skills such as communication skills, networking skills, and all that?
This is, I think, very interesting, and I think this is what gives birth to what we call design thinking. And design thinking is a very new concept, and which is proven to work very well than design. It's not the same thing. Design and design thinking are different things. So in design, when we come to design, then we are mainly targeting transforming a concept into a product. We're there as a designers, We spend our time, we research on that, we just lock ourselves in that lab and then keep on creating. So what brings this concept into design thinking is because of the lack of that concept that we're saying. So, for instance, we go to a hospital and then we see a problem of, for example, with heart, I don't know what you call it, a heart machine, cardiographic or something. So the designer will come on the spot and say, this pupil heart, patients, they want a solution for functionality and all that. So they get that concept designers, we go to their lab, and then they'll just directly go to the concept. What design thinking brings up here is the exact feeling of the patient. That designers don't go to the patient, go like a nurse and ask, how are you feeling? What do you think we do this? What do you think? Putting yourself in empathy, mapping, like all that societal research, So that's why this design thinking is working, bringing that human nature of, empathy and, hands-on feelings, and then giving it as an input to the designer, and the designer will actually do that specific work, and then again, design thinking will come on board to bring that product into a working solution for the end user, but also still empathetically, transferring psychological gains and all that, all those disciplines will come. So I think more working system is that as a design thinking than specifically focusing on the design. Speaking of the designer, coming specifically to your questions, yes, it's true. Only designing will not solve a problem. communicating and actually making your idea work to the society is the one completing your designs. Finished. If not, then just keep on producing it, and hundreds types of prototypes will not complete your research or your product.
Your brains are set the same way.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about researching, going and asking those people and collecting that data, and she just talked about that design thinking process that will necessarily get you out there to meet your end user and know exactly what they want and how they want it. I'm the alien here.
Design thinking.
Cool, very cool concept. Yeah, just to conclude, I would like to know if there are opportunities. I'm sure there are, but what are those opportunities in this sector? We already have talked about cloud computing, about industrial technologies, and all those artificial intelligence, which is like very far away from us. But then how can we maximize all that, especially with young people? As you said, I think you have so many graphic designers who are crazy in their way of bringing about products. But then where are the gaps that they can fill? What are the gaps that they can fill in this sector?
Yeah, the gaps. There's loads of gaps. Like, for instance, we started to talk about, Blen was talking so rightly about problems and solutions. You know what I do? Or I still do. When I'm driving by, if I'm in traffic, I take picture of like signages. What did I ask you the first? On the phone, I asked you, I was like, where's your signs? I take picture of signages around, and then I have guys that go to these people. So sometimes I create a mock-up of what these signs would look like beautifully. And they go to these people and say, hello, I'm from Ingenuity. This is how your shop could look like if we do your sign. And not everyone would say, but they would love it. Some might not have the money, and some would have the money. I got a bank's contract by doing exactly that. So it's about looking for problems. If you're at home, look around you. Like, start from your room. If you don't own the house, what problem is there that you can propose to the landlord to fix? And if you can propose that if there's a problem with the tap, call a plumber. Say, there's so many ways of linking problems and solutions. Just look for the problems. This is how tycoons, this is how the richest people in the world, they look for a problem. Because that problem needs a solution. And everyone would share that solution, idea with with you. They would think it's right because you fixing a solution. I think that's the way more Africans should be thinking.
And then those problems, you don't see it as limitations, but more as doors to doorways to
doorways to fix yourself, and you will make some money out of it, and you will solve an issue. You will be, that's
Go ahead. Any more opportunities? Like, any more needs from you guys who are already in the sector? Now, in your own industry, I'm sure you have some needs. Yeah. I need a great carpenter who can just transform my idea into this. I also need someone very good at upholstery, or somebody who's good at marketing. Yeah. Like, I design something great, the carpenter translates it into a great product for somebody who sells it. Yeah. Visibility, those things. So can you please name some of those needs that you guys have in the industry?
I think all in all, as an entrepreneur, specifically on creative areas, you definitely need that disciplines everywhere. You even need that finance manager, to be as good as you in his work, so that it can give you that space to be creative. Creative, you should be able to go out and look for the situations. If you are locked down in the office, trying to check the finance things, trying to check the human resource problems, you spend your time, making sure your space is clean and all that, then where will you actually get the time to find that, to use that, creative space to create products, So as we mentioned in our first question, that's the major challenge, all the disciplines. Yeah. Everybody working, if everybody masters what he's doing, then it gives a good and great space for creatives to be creative, so that we see more products and more business. It makes every business grow to the next level. And people think like that doesn't have an effect, human resource, being good at human resource have a big effect in his increment in salary, for instance, because when we all grow to the next level, everybody will just grow, So yes, we need every discipline, every single, starting from the cleaner to the, to the manager. Everybody should be good at their work.
So your focus is more on the expertise and building that technicity, that will put them apart.
Absolutely.
Compared to
Absolutely.
That's great, and I'm sure it landed in the right ears. Yeah. So thank you so much for these great discussions. We really appreciated it. So we will proceed to the question and answer session.
My question is for you, Mrs. Blen. How do you work cross-functionally with developed copywriters, project and managers, etc.?
Yeah, thank you again. My question was to Blen. So it's about the patent. How worried are you about patent? As we all know, in Sierra Leone especially, intellectual properties are not having that much of a protection. I heard Ishmael saying about a bit about the copyright laws which has been launched recently. But when it comes to design in your area of business, how much are you worried, or how is your approach in terms of patents and rights?
This question is for Mr. Bull. So how can we maximize our potentials in designing for futuristic purposes? That's my question for you, sir.
My question is for you, Mr. Bull. The question is that as a designer, how far have you shared your design ideas, and how do you normally add from people that you've trained these your design ideas?
My name is Sheye. My question to you, Mr. Bull. What are the ways to develop good interpersonal relationship as an entrepreneur? That's for you. And over to you, Madam Blen.
Yes.
What are your skills that made you successful in your field?
So the first two questions, let me just combine them together. So copyright and patent are our biggest challenge at the first conception stage of my business. It was more of a problem than an advantage, because when you are a startup, you just want to have this unique product which makes you visible really in the market. And then I used to be like, very worried, and whenever people are coming to the showroom, and then, I see things in a different angle. But now, after 2 years of business, we're looking at it as an advantage instead of a challenge. So in this small market that we have in Sierra Leone, so where copyright and patents are not, leave alone being, considered, or we don't have a very good legal system where you pursue your legal rights. So I'm seeing it as an opportunity where people come to copy. Actually, that means like I'm doing really good, So, and as the original of that, as the original mind of that creative thing, so let them go. Let them take the products. Let them use it. they're just, taking me a step forward, and then I will keep on creating because I'm original. So nowadays I'm not taking it as a challenge at all. I'm just taking it as an opportunity. When people come to copy in the workshop, people buy one product, and then I know that one product is not for them. They take it to copy it, and I'm very happy nowadays. That means like people are really taking this thing really quality. So let them, and then I will keep on creating. So that's the way I'm managing things. I hope I've answered your answer as well.
Is it Derek?
Yeah, Derek.
Yes. Okay. For like the thing with design, it always stays the same, but it evolves. What I mean by that is, like a 1950s chair, would look like a 1950s chair, but it will evolve in a futuristic way that if you design it now with the same concept, it would look like something from a sci-fi movie, but with the same shapes. So you have to, in maximizing your potential, you always have to be on the know. Like, I think it's one of the mobile companies that does internet unlimited every night. Yes. I subscribe to this. I'm always learning because it's always changing. I'm always learning. And I'm always, again, I don't recommend for people to do what I do, but my most comfortable software to use is Adobe Suite. With Adobe Suite, I can edit sound, I can edit photo, I can edit video, I can do illustration, I can do a magazine. If you go to my website, most things about, I don't do for the furniture, though. But I can draw them because I've learned how to, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
Now, Blen has given me a fresh perspective on furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, while I go, I eat, I relax, I'm going to, I go learn about her stuff. So, yeah, it's always learning. So you maximize yourself. There's three different type of people. 3 are the customers. 2 are the people who are doing a business, trying to sell to the customers. The last one is the exceptional ones. Those ones are the ones that maximize their potential. Always learn, always learn. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just So, one more question. Sorry, I don't remember the name. What are the skills you need in your field? Was the question. So if I get it right. So the skills we need, as you've heard in our discussions, are mainly, the main ingredient is the creative mind, where we continuously bring about different designs, and that's what keeps your business going, and that's what gives satisfaction to your workers, and that's what keeps the idea alive, So the creative mind is the major ingredients, the major skill needed. And the next are those people, those skills whom we require to make the idea, that creative product into actions, like the carpenters, the good machines, the operators, the machine operators that we need, and the upholstery people. It's a cumulative of skills that we need. It's not only one person, maybe that's the engine, but it needs all the whole structure for the car to go, like we need the oil, we need the, other products, we need the gear, everything, unless otherwise we don't go where we want to go. So it's a cumulative effect, to be honest. Without those people, we will not be where we are right now. It's the major thing. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Mr. Tabla? Yes, you asked about training, how I do my training. I do my training with actual work. So for instance, if someone asked Ingenuity to do a website, and you're next to me, and you've been wanting to do a website, I would want to first know, like, how much have you been wanting to do a website, and what have you personally done towards that? If you have been waiting for someone to train you, or you have started with something, what you have started with is where we'll start from. And we'll do hands-on on the job. For simple things like a flyer, I want to see how you would cut a picture, before I even touch it, you would have to, it's hands-on. Design is very hands-on. It's like, it's not, there are some people that are gifted, but even those gifted people, I think I was gifted in drawing, but if it was just a drawing, I wouldn't have been making money. There's so many things in design that you can't just say, oh, because I can draw. Like I just spoke about editing pictures, video, this and that. And all these things, I learned them. I'm not gifted in that, but I learned it. So training, don't wait for someone to train you. You have to, there's YouTube, there's so many things that you can use. So when you come to someone like me now, depending on what you know, you would be above the others that know the average. And I'll be happy to train you because it's less work for me. Yeah.
You have more questions?
No, I've answered, yes.
Oh, okay. I think there's the interpersonal relation. With interpersonal relationships, before you get into design, this is one thing we didn't talk about. Well, I think Blen touched on it a little bit. You yourself, not your you have to think of yourself as a brand. Like your own, like Ishmael Bull is different from Inky Media, but Ishmael Bull, I have to think about myself as a brand. What I wear, like how I look, how I am in public. Excuse my skinny legs though, but like this is me. This is who I am, right? So once you put yourself out in public, you have to also imagine that not everyone is going to like you, but you have to like everyone. The client is always right. No, you have to like everyone. You don't like design is about art, but it's about how things look. And the minute you start looking funny to people, that's going to affect your brand and your relationships. Always reflect what you think your company would be like. Always. How you talk and all these things. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much for
having
those insightful sharings. We really appreciate. So I'm just concluding with some nuggets that I collected and that are absolutely very, very strong and life-changing. So first of all, the personal branding. We won't emphasize that enough, We focus on branding our corporations, our companies, but we forget that we also are the first brand of any organization we are leading or any company. So working on that personal brand so that you really epitomize all the values that you want your organization to act around. One thing that I really appreciated hearing from our great speakers is the importance of collaboration, the importance of networking, building those ecosystems, because all doesn't end with our governments, but we have also to federate, come together and build something that is even bigger than ourselves when we are acting in silos. Another one is the growth culture, having that growth mindset, thinking out of the box and also innovating, so that you continuously learn and, you build those skills, but at the same time, you realize that it's not innate. You're not born with it. Those geniuses are not born with it. They acquire it. So working nonstop on that. Also, the importance of changing our lenses. Both of them are very big about that, and they showed it. Like not seeing those problems, but seeing them as opportunities for growth, for prosperity, and for change in our communities. So changing that type of mindset that we have and the lenses we use to see. Also building on your own expertise, making sure you become an expert in your industry. If you are a shoemaker, be the best shoemaker in your industry. If you are construction, like not even the biggest, not even the designer, but if you are a bricklayer, lay every brick perfectly well. I think that came back a lot in the conversation. Also, talking about the interpersonal skills, they're very important, and building on those relationships that are very important, because even though we talked about machine learning, we talked about artificial intelligence, but the human skills, the human aspects of who you are as the person behind the business is what will, overcome those challenges that we go through. So yes. So to end, I thought I was going with only one phrase, but I end up going with three. So the first one was, I am original. Borrowed from Blen. It's like super strong, and it really talked to me. I thought that was going to be the end, but then I am exceptional. So we really need to make sure we compete with our own selves, and then our barriers get always, wider and bigger. And then the other one is, the kind is always right. Yep. I never knew it till today. That's a very strong one, because it's not always about being prosperous, developing those empires, but it has also to do with empathizing with your customers, with communities that you want to develop and all that. So those are the nuggets that I collected in this great discussion with these amazing speakers. So thank you so much for your attention, and see you next month for another edition of the Ignition Hour. Thank you.
Thank you.